Hey everyone, and welcome to my guide on Tank Veigar. In this video I'll be showing you my favorite way to play Veigar, which is by building full tank. Let's start off with your early game. In laning phase, you're going to be playing very passive and just trying to stack your passive. So don't try to go for early fights. Let your enemy, he can bully you all you want. You're going to be going from being a little squishy dude that deals very little damage early on to being this fat tank that just shreds everybody in the late game. All you gotta do is to stack your passive correctly, and I'll explain to you exactly what his passive is. So Veigar's passive is Phenomenal Evo Power. This grants him 1 AP each time he hits any champion with any of his abilities, and 5 for a takedown. And so now, in your early game, you're gonna want to stack your passive with your Q by last hitting enemy creeps with it. So for each creep he hits with it, or kills with it, my bad, he grants him 1 AP, and it pierces the first 2 targets hit. So whether you hit 2 minions in a row or you hit a minion in the enemy champion, as long as it kills the creep or it hits the enemy champion, you're going to be getting 1 AP for that. Large monsters in the cannon minion or super minion, they grant 2 AP instead of 1. His passive is what allows him to build full tank while still being able to do fat damage, which is why it's really fun to play him. So let's start off with, as soon as you get into the game, what you're going to build. You're going to want to first start off every single game with the Sapphire Crystal and a refillable pot, no matter the situation. And so now we're going to get into more depth. If you're fighting an enemy laner who's mainly AP, then your first item is going to be Abyssal Mask, Merc Treads, Spirit Visage, and now those are your 3 core MR items, and then you move on to armor, which would be Frozen Heart, Sunfire Cape, and Warmongs to sustain late game, and against all the other enemy champions in the game. But if you're fighting an AD laner, then you're going to be building it backwards. So you're going to want to start off with the Frozen Heart, go into Ninja Tabby instead of Merc Treads, Sunfire Cape, Abyssal Mask, Spirit Visage, and Warmongs. Essentially the same 2 builds, just different orders that you buy them in. Some substitutes that are great, you can fill out, you can, adapt to the situations. You got Gargoyle Stoneplate, Thornmail, Randuin's Omen, Zonya's Hourglass, Deadman's Plate, Sterak's Gauge, Zerot Portal, Banshee's Veil, and Adaptive Helm. All those items are great to fulfill the needs of whoever's in your game. If they're all AP, if they're all AD, if they have a lot of spamming abilities, whatever, substitute whatever, make sure it works and you're tanky enough to deal lots of damage. So if my enemy laner is mostly AP damage, then what I like to do is I run Scaling MRs, Marks and Glyphs, Flat AP Quints, Scaling Health. This just allows you to get that extra boost of AP early game, and while having lots of magic resist late game, just to add on to it. And health is always nice to have as well. And if they're mostly AD, then what I like to do is I like to run flat AP on my marks and glyphs, and then scaling armor on my quints and seals to get the most value out of it. It's just what I prefer. You can do whatever. So next up is the Masteries. I like to run an unusual 0, 12, 18 build. But you just want to get Bandit as one of your keys, and then Courage of the Colossus as the other one. Bandit allows you to just, poke the enemy laner, get some extra gold, and Courage of the Colossus is your key, so that way you get a fat shield when you hit and stun the enemies with your E late game. So for summoner spells, you're going to want to take Flash and Barrier in pretty much almost every situation. Flash, I think, is pretty self-explanatory, and Barrier is just so, survive the early game a bit more. You can live through people's ults. If they take Ignite, you can live through Ignite. Just all around a really good summoner spell. You can trade it for TP or heal if you want to, but Barrier is the better option here. And I forgot to mention skill max. You're gonna want to max your ult whenever you can, and prioritize Q, E, and W last. So next, I want to talk about some champions that Veigar is very strong against. Ryze, Gangplank, TF, and Malzahar were the first 4 that I thought of. Ryze, GP, and TF because they have very weak early games, just as you do, so it's pretty easy for you to stack and just have an easy laning phase. Malzahar, I know it's kind of weird, but you can easily stack your Q off of his minions, no problem, and it gets you your AP up faster and faster and faster. He's actually really easy to lane against. He does very bad against LeBlanc, Yasuo, Fizz, and Syndra. LeBlanc, because, she's a giant bully. She will easily kill you, no problem. You don't even need to have your magic resist up, and you're going to have a bad time in lane. Yasuo, because he can easily deny you stacks off the cannon minions and just stacks in general. His windwall can also block your ultimate, that's really annoying. You know, he's just an all-around pretty good counter against him, but I would highly recommend prioritizing the LeBlanc ban over him. Next, Fizz, because he can easily dodge your ult again with his invincibility. Annoying. It's easier to stack against him until he reaches level 6, but once he reaches level 6, then you're gonna have to play back until you get your magic resist up. And finally, Syndra. I mean, she's just an all-around lane bully. She's gonna make it hell for you to stack, and it's very annoying to play against her. Next, I want to talk about how to play him. So you're always going to want to stack. Every single opportunity that you have, stack, 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 stack. It's like Nasus 2.0. A great tip that I have is when you have 50 AP, you can W the range minions and then Q them to easily kill them. And so you get 2 stacks that way. Use it whenever you can. Get your stacks up. Stack, stack, stack. Nasus mains. Stack, stack, stack. Be very, very passive early on. You're not trying to go for kills if you don't need to, you know, if he's not ready to be killed, you know. You can keep poking him down. Do not play super aggressive, you know, don't overextend. Just, if he's going to push you in, let him push you in. Just stack, and if your jungler comes and it's an easy kill, get the easy kill. But besides that, very, very passive. And then late game, you're just another tank, you know, peel for your team, but you also deal fat damage. So you can, you know, always be in the front line. You know, you're a frontliner, so you know, peel for your AD, or and anybody else that needs to be peeled for, since ADs will always complain that you don't peel for them. Stay in the front and look for every situation that you can to get a fat E. If you can trap 3 to 4 enemies inside of your E, that can easily turn into a team wipe and win the game, no problem. And last thing that I want to say is, understand that you're a great tank that deals fat damage. I know typically when you play mid, you're either, you know, you're used to dealing so much damage because, you know, you're mid laner. But not only do you deal damage, but you're a great tank. So understand that. Be in the front, peel, 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 stack, stack, stack. You get the gist of it. That's about what I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching my guide. I know it's a bit different than what I'm used to doing. I mean, sorry if I, you know, sounded kind of weird. I tried like doing some sort of, like, you know, script for it, but I hated the way it sounded. So I pretty much just kind of freestyled the entire thing. I probably have, like, I don't know, like 50 different audio files of me messing up. And, you know, I'm just not used to doing this. It's the very first time that I think I've ever done anything, like, you know, sort of professional with a guy, getting all these clips, doing all these audio segments. And, you know, sorry if it turned out bad, but, you know, it's the first one. And it was pretty fun to make, and I was thinking about doing a couple more. I definitely have to improve on doing, you know, the voiceovers, because I did what I'm doing right now. I'm so used to just, you know, talking whatever, but I tried to make this, you know, a little bit more professional, kind of, you know, restarting every single time I messed up rather than just going with the flow. But yeah, that is about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you watched until the end, I really appreciate you. And until next time, guys, deuces.